Hello.
Good morning.
So today,
All this depth is required.
today we're going to learn some Kotlin. And Kotlin is a JVM language that sort of extends Java, but can run
Mm.
natively by itself and is used primarily for Android development. But today I'm going to show you how to build a command line interface that runs on Kotlin. And
It's kind of like a sibling of Swift, like a modern language for the phone.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's becoming more multi-purpose. The same thing with Swift as well. It's like becoming more multi-purpose
Do
as
you
well.
know if Swift is compatible with Objective-C++?
Ah, right. I think so, but it's like a re-implementation, obviously. Um,
Mm.
I heard
I
that
wonder if it can use the same ecosystem and libraries.
they must have because there's so many people that were developing stuff,
Yeah.
and they need to be backwards compatible for old
And in that way,
OSX.
it's like basically the same as Kotlin, just different set of languages.
Yeah, but anyway, with these sorts of Kotlin projects, or JVM projects, you typically need, well, you don't need to, but most people use a tool that does something similar to like what npm does. It packages um, the Kotlin
Mm.
files. So let's walk through the
Yeah.
process of how you build like a JVM project. So there's a compile step that needs to happen because it's a typed language.
Just so are we using Gradle?
Yeah, I'll be using Gradle.
Does Gradle do like import package management, or do you have to just set that up?
Yeah, it does. So, for example, I'm using a package from JetBrains called Commons, and if you look, every Gradle file has this build Gradle um,
Mhm.
file that you need to use to set up your project.
Dependencies. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot like a DOM.
exactly. So you'll just import this, which typically goes to these repositories, Maven Central or JCenter, and
Mm.
you can say what it will do. I'm not sure what the difference is here between implementation, compile, and test implementations. That's something to look at. But
Those backward URLs are funny,
which one?
like com.github.ajax.
Oh, yeah. So that is called like a group ID, which a lot of the projects you set up in the JVM land, they distinguish their namespace by this. So it's like group ID and then the
Mm.
artifact ID. Um, and you
Does it
typically,
use that to actually go fetch them? Like, is that equivalent to the URL?
no, it's just a URI to distinguish the namespace of your project so that you don't conflict with other projects out there that might have a different group ID but the same artifact ID. So you could have a project called dog, but as long as your group ID is something else like com, your name, and I have my com dot my name, we can have the same artifact ID and we'll never conflict. So
Yeah, yeah.
So Gradle is a whole topic in itself, but once you set up a Gradle project, you get you typically have what they call a Gradle W wrapper, which is this Gradle W file here. So it's actually a executable um, file that allows you to do um, the set of Gradle commands similar to like npm. You know how we have scripts in npm, like you do npm run this script, um, this command. Gradle W also does that for you. So you have like a bunch of tasks that
It's
you'll
weird
do
that you got the binary in your project. Like, normally that's a
because
command line.
because this is this is typical for all Gradle projects. They'll actually ship with the binary. It's not
Mm.
with it so that it's actually platform agnostic. So if you're on Windows or if you're on Mac or on Linux, every project will be able to run this Gradle W. You can see it's got a bat file, so it can run on Windows. Um,
Mm.
but they sort of give you this Gradle W file in order for you to build your project on any machine, and it actually ships as long as you have Java. That's all you need to like get it started. So they've sort of thought about all that for you, where all you need is Java, and it will run this thing and figure out all the different types of stuff that it needs in order to build.
That sounds like CMake almost.
Yeah, it's very similar to CMake. In fact, Gradle is used to build C++ programs as well, so you can use it like CMake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, the structure of a project in JVM is you have a source directory and typically a main and a test directory, and then you have like the language that you're defining for. So this is actually a name that you need. Like if you don't write Kotlin or Groovy, the project sort of that's the standard structure. I'm sure you could get around it by having some other stuff. Like I could put my files in main, or I could put it wherever. But typically, a proper project has this distinguishing factor, so that you can have your Java code in a Java folder, Groovy code, and because they're JVM languages, you can use your Java classes and your Java files in Kotlin because it's interoperable.
So does the build system know about this like structure?
Exactly. This plugin ID application actually defines, like, looks at that structure. So if you want to set up a Gradle project, you would set it up with this plugin that says, I'm using Kotlin, I'm using an application, which means that it's going to look at that structure in order to find your class files when it does the build step. And the build step that we didn't cover is like, these JVM languages are typed. So if we look at, say, an example here, we can see that. Well, Kotlin is a bit more like Python, I guess, where it's not dynamic, but you can have like these equivalent to auto syntax where it will figure out what the type is. But if I hover over on it,
Java isn't dynamic, is it? So I guess it can't.
Exactly. It still needs to compile. It still needs to compile. And what happens when it compiles? It builds like these class files, similar to C, with the object files, and those object files get bundled. So an example output of that is like, you can see it's got these jar files, and these jar files represent the bundle, similar to like npm bundles or webpack bundles, the JavaScript files, and that's what you'll be using. JVM uses like these jar files, which then are used. So this installation directory actually has a bunch of all these dependencies that you can see here that I'm using in my project. And they will be used by this binary which gets built. So there's like just this Calgo binary, which if I run, actually has my command line interface. You can see I've got like algo, and that has like the in search. You can see it's got this nested.
So this is your program.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
And I've got like bio and stuff.
So we're looking at bio right now.
Exactly. So bio is actually executing this. So if I like run,
we got data frames.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to sort of play around with.
Yeah. How does that work? Is that or how is it compared to Python?
It's more, you have to define like a data schema because it needs to know about the types up front of every column. So if you look at data frame, we just go into here. My computer is a bit slow. Yeah, you define like a schema. We'll get to that another time. The sort of thing I want to do today is I'm going to create another thing in my Calgo thing that is to do with like more about the language experiments, so we can run that. So I'll just add like another folder here, and then we can do the sealed class experiment that we want to do. So I'll just
this is a nice little structure.
Yeah.
So this is kind of click commands. That's how you use this and it gives you the structure.
Exactly. You just extend from click command, and then you can pass it a bunch of stuff. This is a Kotlin feature where you pass in the inside the definition of a class. You can actually pass in like the init, the constructor parameters, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's just basically calling the constructor. That's a really nice thing in Kotlin.
Yeah. So I'll have this lang folder, which is all about language related things that we want to do. And I'll just like literally copy the bio CLI to lang, and we'll lang
double array of 42.
So that just creates, well, that creates an array that's of type double, I guess. So
one number?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, so like if you want an int array, you would say int array of. I'm not sure if I like that sort of syntax because it means it's embedded in the name. You know what I mean? Let's get rid of all of this, and we'll call this lang, and let's just make sure.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if Kotlin has generics at all.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they probably could have
written it. Yeah. There's another way to write it, but I guess this is for primitives. They have that defined, I guess. So
true. Primitives are different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't use primitives as generic parameters in Java. I think that's a JVM limitation.
Right.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, so you can see I'm just importing my lang CLI into this like click thing. And if I want to build my project, I will install dist, which actually creates that install directory binary and the dependencies. So if we go back to I'll just have this as the run. This is the problem with development in this.
Where does install dist come from?
So Gradle has a bunch of tasks that are automatically assigned to you. So you have like run, assemble, and all this stuff, which is very confusing. But build just basically builds like the jar, and it's okay. And you like run this to build all your dependencies as well, which is a separate jar. And typically, running a jar, you can do like Java -jar, and you specify the jar. But you'll specify all the jars that you'll run, and then it will execute all of those jars. And that's typically how you would run it. This install script, this install directory has the Calgo thing, but if you look at the actual thing, we probably will see Java called somewhere.
So install dist comes with Gradle, like it's just part of.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
So you can see it's like just adding all of your class paths to this environment variable, and then it literally calls. I reckon it's going to call Java -jar somewhere. Well, it must call it somewhere. Let's see.
There's so much cross-platform logic here. Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool.
So you can see it's got this Java command, and this Java command runs Java. Anyway, do we have our new thing? Because trailing commas is only available since whatever. Okay, fair enough. Well,
it's funny how it knows which version it's available in. That's kind of nice, actually.
And well, you have to specifically set which version of Kotlin you're using. So this allows you to change up which version of Kotlin.
So if we're using version 1.4, you'd be fine.
Yeah, exactly. And it would, I guess, I'm not sure if it like creates like an instance of like downloads the Kotlin jar that you are going to use inside your project.
Mhm.
Actually, that will be interesting. If we look at lib, do we see Kotlin in there? And we do. Look at that. So we can see all the Kotlin libraries that it's using. So
Yeah.
so it's sort of
So
just
if you made that one, or in
or
theory, it would start using the other.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have our command line interface and we have lang. So yeah, we can start testing the seal class thing.
Hello.
So let's
Nice.
create a seal class. So seal class animal, I guess, which is going to be extended by some other classes, right? And then we could just give it like, I can't remember the syntax, like name. Oh, let's just have that, I guess. And then let's have dog plus dog animal.
Yeah.
And then how do you?
And like in theory, just that should be happy. Should compile. Let's check.
Do I have to do this?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you actually have the call of the superclass constructor needs to happen there. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's build it.
All right. So then I guess we just add stuff inside the classes and inheritance works as normal.
Yeah.
Oh, but we wanna do like the match.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, hold on. Let me just get a. Let's just get some browser up so that we can like look at the documentation. So you want Kotlin. Is it match? Yeah.
Looks like maybe. Oh, that's strings.
What was it?
Is it when?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. How did you remember that?
I saw it in the search results. I was like, maybe that's it.
Yeah, and they do have this. Look, hierarchy of classes that respect this. Seal class.
Oh, they put the classes inside it. Interesting.
Huh. Maybe let's do that.
I mean, oh yeah, you can do that, I guess.
So if you
I guess that just means when you access that class, you have to do animal.dog.
yeah. So if you define properties, let's
That's kind
say
of neat.
let's say there's a string
Hmm.
name like there. How do you define properties on a class?
Good question. It's probably name colon string. Alright. Oh. How do you classes? Val, is it?
And you don't give it. Oh, wait, what? So if I just give val name,
What's the error message?
must be abstract. What? Oh, okay. So we could have like a like let's just say we have global property equals some prop, and then we have abstract val name, and that must mean that it needs to be implemented by.
Yeah. Now it needs a type annotation.
Like here.
Yeah. I don't think these are global though.
You don't think this is going to be not global, but like within? Sorry, it's not global, but like animal prop. It's going to be within these animals potentially when we instantiate them.
Yeah, it'll be incorporated. Yeah.
And what's this? What's the string thing? Is it string like that?
Well, what are strings?
Oh yeah, must be
Capital.
that.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
what's the problem here?
well, now it's abstract. It needs an implementation.
Yeah, right. Cool. So if we just go constructor, and I can pass in the constructor. How do you do the constructor? Just dog?
Maybe. How do you construct this?
There's like this init thing, init block.
Ah. Init. I think I like that more than using the name.
So how do you then? Do I do like this dot name equals dog? Oh, this has to be a var. Oh, oops.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good distinction to make. So the thing that it's complaining about is that it doesn't have an initial value.
Which one?
Name.
But it says it's
When you
not
create a
abstract.
dog,
Yeah.
when you create a dog, we haven't defined an initial value for it. That's what it's complaining about. By making it an abstract thing, we've deferred the initial value down to the subclasses.
Yeah. So this is a subclass, and I'm trying to set
It
that.
needs to define the initial value. That's just an assignment. It's not the same as setting the
So how do you define that? Is it like passing it?
probably the same way you do it for animal prop.
So like, can I pass it in here? Maybe.
I don't think so. I think it's done the same way you do for animal prop.
Right. So I do like name equal. Oh, yeah.
See if it works. Looks like that's probably the wrong syntax. You probably have to say var.
Override.
Override. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Do you still need the var?
Yeah.
Okay, you do. Cool.
Learning.
Yeah, nice.
So if we have when, so we create like a equals cat, and then do I have to say, I don't say new, right? Oh, animal dot cat, of course. Yeah, and then if we go like when, actually, let's have it as a static method here. So how do I do static method? Static methods. Or do I just create the name?
How do you even do methods? I don't know. Classes. How do you classes?
Functions?
Yeah.
Wait, that's just functions in general.
Fun.
Right. So I write fun inside. Yeah, override. Okay, so fun, and then I guess do something. So this is going to take an animal,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go when a and then that. So when a, and then we go animal dot, or do I just say dog in this because I'm inside the seal class?
Possibly, yeah.
You are dot.
That's quite convenient.
Wait, it's complaining though. Companion object is
Companion.
okay.
What?
How do you do return types? Is it like
Okay.
that? String? Like that?
Yeah.
My computer's lagging.
I reckon it's colon.
Oh, yeah. That would be consistent.
Yeah. We're writing TypeScript.
Is cat you no actually can you do like a dot name instead
Yeah.
and then plus a dot animal prop? See what
Yeah.
that is.
Seems to be happy. Okay, this is defeating the point of using the when.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see it switch though on the thing.
You can't see it switch because they're doing the same thing.
Oh, what's the problem here then? Do I need a
Does
return?
when return? Are
Oh,
you?
right.
Yeah, return is probably not implicit like Rust.
Yeah, true.
Also, it didn't seem to be complaining when you do a when, but it doesn't cover every case.
That's true.
Like that's one
Oh
thing
no,
I
it
wanted to
is.
do.
It is. Must be exhausted.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yay. So if I do animal dot print line animal dot do something a
Yeah.
no. Oh no. Oh no.
What's happening? Oh yeah, I suspect you need to do something to make it static.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Try just saying static. Is that a keyword?
No.
Oh no. Static methods colon.
Is this? I don't need to say public, do I?
No, that's Java.
Oh, okay. Is this all Java? No, this is Kotlin.
Doesn't look like Kotlin. No, that's
Ah,
not Kotlin. It's Java. I think
companion.
it's just showing us a whole bunch of Java. Like, is it going to show us Kotlin at some point? Like that page might have had it. It was just talking a whole crapload of Java. Is there no Kotlin on this page? What
Yeah,
the?
there is. Here. I think I need to do this
Okay.
companion object thing.
Okay.
It's common to all instances of a class, the companion object. We can create a singleton instance of an object by adding the.
How do you call it? Just normal, I suppose. Or do you have to say like console utils dot object or something?
I don't know. We'll find out. So I just put companion object.
Companion. Okay, so that's where you put static like
Stuff.
methods and fields and things, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, then it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's weird. I think static would be like, I don't know.
It should be lame.
Is that package implicitly inside like the parent directory package?
Sorry?
That lang package, is that implicitly inside whatever the parent directory package is? Or is that like the top level?
That's the top level
Like,
for this,
okay.
yeah, for this folder.